Hello, hello. Am I audible? Please let me know in the chats. Hello, hello. Yep, we will wait for 1 to 2 minutes for everyone to join, and until then, I will be able to send some messages across Discord and stuff. Hmm. Great, great. I hope. Let me just put. Hello, hello. Am I audible? Let's get a voice check super quick so we can start right away. Yep, perfect, perfect. I was not speaking earlier, so is my voice echoing? If it's echoing, let me know. I can do some setting around headphones. I'm not sure about that right now. Oh, is it echoing? Let me just check. Ah, perfect. I thought I'm echoing. Maybe it might be the room. I'm not sure. Thank you very much for letting me know. Yep, great, great, great. And quick question: how many of you know what DevOps is, or ever heard of the term DevOps? Maybe anyone heard of what is DevOps, or ever tried to get into DevOps or something? Okay, so today, yeah, developer and operations. Yeah, you have heard it from Kunal. That's great, super great person in DevOps ecosystem. Yep, yep. Developing end-to-end projects. Yeah, I will get you through the roadmaps and stuff in today's video. Only have misconceptions. Is it related to Amazon? No, it's not related to Amazon, but Amazon has some services which are related to DevOps field, which we will see today. Mm, So yeah, I think we are good to go. So in today's session, we will be seeing what is DevOps essentially, and how it fits into organization, or what does a DevOps engineer do. Uh, Developer of developer services. Yep, yep. So we will see according to that, and I will be taking you through the a roadmap maybe, and giving you resources of like from different resources like GitHub, Hey everyone, am I audible? I'm sorry, I won't be able to share my camera due to some issues, technical issues. Am I audible? Please let me know. That would be super helpful. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I'm not sure there has been power cut and everything has been frozen. So if I just get cut in between, please do let me know in the chat. Cool. And before getting started, please do make sure you have checked in and have received the points regarding the same. And yes, let's get started, right? So let me just quickly get my slides here. So tap, okay, and let me just go back to StreamYard. Oh, introduction. Are the slides visible? Yeah, okay. Are the slides visible now? Yeah, perfect. I will just make them bit bigger so we can get started. Perfect. So, hey everyone, hope your global hack week is going great. Please do make sure you have checked in for the event so you get the points. And without further ado, let's get started with it. So, hey everyone, I'm Kaiwalya. I'm MLH coach and host for today. And I finally have my own avatar for streaming. So I haven't added it for this stream. Again, the difficulties on my end. Sorry for that. And yep. And the another fact about me is I like anime and K-drama, so that's what the fun part about me is. And you can find socials of me and ML stacks. So you can go ahead and tweet about it and tag me on socials and MLH on socials if you want. So let's get into it. Yeah, so today's topic is introduction to DevOps. So as we went through the chats earlier and saw that many of you know uh, what is like have heard about the DevOps term, and you being here shows that you have like quite an interest in knowing about what is DevOps and how and why it fits into the ecosystem, right? So let's go ahead and see what we are going to be looking into. So today's topics are introduction, roadmap walkthrough, resources, and CNCF landscape, right? So we will be going through each and every one. I will be walking you through roadmap so you can get comfortable and get into good direction while you are getting started with the DevOps ecosystem and resources for each roadmap step. So I won't be giving you just the roadmap, but I will be uh, giving you proper resources to get started with each and every topic and etc. And CNCF landscape for a reason because CNCF is one of the biggest umbrellas when it comes to DevOps tools and all those site reliability and all these terms. So getting to know CNCF landscape and understanding how it looks and why it is structured in a particular manner is a super helpful thing. Good. Is my voice breaking a lot? Let me know. Or is it good audible? Am I audible a bit? Uh, yeah, I'm really sorry for the audio. My Wi-Fi is down and the range is not quite good here, so I'm really sorry for that. Yeah, thank you so much. So, yep, let's get into the first introduction. So we will be going to the drawing board. For that, I hope my drawing board is quite working. In this scenario, let me just quickly check in on that. So, if you talk about DevOps. So DevOps, there is I see a question that do I need to know DevOps? So let me just bring that question in. Okay, let me just check. Okay, this is the question. So do I need to know DevOps? So it depends. If you have interest in learning how the software gets to people, in like in like full manner, then having a knowledge about DevOps always helps. But if you have specific interests like front end, back end, or anything specific, then it's not really mandatory when you get into software engineering or anything related to software. But if you are really interested in knowing how internet works and stuff, then it can be super helpful to learn. Good, great. So let's go into what into the now we will be seeing a landscape. Just a second. I guess my electricity is back. No, you are not late. Uh, we are just getting started, and due to technical difficulties, we weren't able to start. So here we are again at 8. I will just put it here. Just a second. I am just rearranging my stuff uh, here. Hmm. Okay, never mind. Yeah, great questions, and keep the questions going. I will just change this. Okay. Uh, so cool. I hope I'm visible now as well. Sorry for everything like that. And let me just go back here. Okay, so we will just go ahead and see. First of all, what is like introduction to DevOps, right? So DevOps comes into picture when the application is built, then the DevOps part comes into picture. So DevOps can be divided into two parts. So it can majorly be developer and operation. So development and operations. Uh, just give me one moment. Voice totally. I think it will load again. Is it audible and visible? So sorry for constantly getting this. I hope it is audible and I'm clearly visible. Cool. So yeah, thank you so much for that. So I don't know why my writing pad is not working. Okay. Cool. So when we talk about DevOps, it's divided again into development and operations. So what does operations mean? So operation comes into picture after your application is built mostly. So you will see the DevOps engineer, whoever you see as a DevOps engineer, will be working after the application is built and all those stuff, right? So if you are familiar with software engineering and software development life cycle, so there is similar DevOps life cycle, and development is again included in that as well. So now when we see what is DevOps life cycle, there is there DevOps is kind of divided into small multiple parts. So it's not like you learn one programming language, or you learn a specific tool and you know DevOps now. It's a series of practices and a chain of initiatives you take in order to implement those tools. So say suppose, let me just check. Okay, now this is working and I should be able to bring up my drawing board. So uh, here is just a second. I will share one of my uh, windows. Mm, oh, okay. No, never mind. For some reason, I'm not. Oh, I hate this so much. Um, Let me just go ahead and uh, do this again. Mm, mm, okay, let's go ahead. Continue. I'm not sure why I'm not able to share one of my screens, but it was actually a writing board. So, so sorry for that. So let me just tell that to you here itself. So when we talk about DevOps, it is divided, and let's go ahead into the roadmap stuff itself. So that way I will be able to make it clear, uh, considering my current freezes and technical issues. So when we talk about DevOps lifecycle, so here, if you go ahead and see, there is code, plan, everything that, oops, what is happening today? I guess uh, today is that day where your demo doesn't work. So you can see as here, there is like code. If I get pointer, okay, so here is code. So the software development lifecycle as it goes, that you go plan, code, and build, etc. Right? So that's how it goes. uh, you are in planning phase, okay, that's done. You are in code, you have coded, the development team has done the coding, they have built it, everything like that. But what comes after the development and building of the product is, you have to get that product to your customers or maybe users, right? So you built a website, you are a software engineer or anything, or if you are just learning front end, etc., you know that you build a code and then you make it to the users. But in a bigger picture or bigger scale, it is not as easy as we do for our side projects. There is dedicated team which is responsible for allowing the users to access the application. And right, so say suppose, if we have built a website and we have it on, say suppose, on our own domain, and it's hosted through some, say suppose, Netlify or something like that. But say suppose 50,000 user come, or there are there are multiple applications. Google has so many users concurrently, LinkedIn has so many users, Twitter has so many users. So how do they manage all these things? So there is much greater engineering going on behind the curtains which you cannot see. So once the application is made, whatever things go in pipeline in order to get your website to be visible to the user, that is known as operations. So developers and operations. So as a developer engineer, should you be knowing what is development and how these things are working? Absolutely yes, because if you don't know how things are built, how will you be able to successfully transport it to some other place? Makes sense, right? So in DevOps life cycle, when the code is done, you build, and as you can see, there are like small icons here. These icons are tools which help you in a specific part of the life cycle. So if you want to build, you can use Verf and build out something like that. Then you test, you release, right? And now we will go to deployment. So once our application is built, where do we go? We want to deploy it so that users can access the project of file, something like that. Cool. And once we are at deployment, there are Yeah, yep. We have Srikaran here. Hey, Srikaran, great person. Okay, so once we have our application ready, we want it to get to the deployment, right? So when I say deployment, don't get flustered that like this is so huge term, and when you go get started with DevOps and everyone is saying deployment, deployment. Yeah, it sounds kind of chaotic and kind of intimidating at start. But deployment is just you can think of it as a trailer. So you have that trailer belt, right? I'm not sure I'm getting the word correct, but I hope you understand. So you have your package from Amazon coming, right? And it comes in big trucks and etc. So imagine it like that. So you have ordered a package, right? And it's at a place A at the shop, and now you want to get that package to you as a user, right? So whatever things go in middle, you can think of it as pipeline. So the truck goes to the or the pickup guy goes to the shop, he picks it up, then they go to the like a warehouse something, then it gets shipped to your local warehouse and some everything like that. So that's a pipeline. So the package was already there, and as a consumer, you were there at different parts of the uh, world, and still it got to you, right? So the middle pipeline is really essential, and this is what the pipeline looks like. You can consider this life cycle as kind of pipeline, and this is what is going on. So when I say deploy, that means the process which takes the product to be able to deliver to the user. So in here, there it comes. So if you are already familiar with DevOps and have watched a couple of videos, then you might know that there are something called Docker and AWS and stuff. So it obviously gets breakdown into much. Unfortunately, today my pen tab is not working and the application is not. I'm not able to share the application here. So that kind of sucks, but if that was there, I would be able to show you in a drawing format. I really prepared for that. So never mind. So what we do is when the application is ready, we package it. We package it and ship it. Right. So let's go in like really simpler sense. In like again Amazon booking example. So you ordered say suppose a pen. You ordered a pen and it is in the store, right? It is packed in the store. The as an application, it's ready, right? Then the pickup person comes to the shop. They pick it up. They pick it up from the shop, and they get it to the warehouse, right? So that's a chain. So when you think of development, so you know GitHub, Git and GitHub, and you push that code on GitHub. Now your application is ready. Now how do we get it to the maybe how do we host it in simpler sense? How do we host it? So first of all, what do we usually do is we make a Docker containers, Docker image, and store it. So there's where Docker comes into picture. I won't go into what is Docker and stuff. Yeah, GitHub pages, that is a great example how you host. But say suppose GitHub Pages is really good example of how this chain goes, because GitHub Pages abstracts it a lot and makes it easier for you to host simpler applications and pages, right? But say suppose you have complex applications like Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, like that. They are not hosted on some platform like GitHub Pages or something like that, or any single standalone application hosting platform, something like that, right? Yeah, Netlify, Vercel, they are easier to implement because they abstract everything that's going behind for you, right? So that's a great operation tool. You can imagine it as that, right? But if you want to do it as alone as a DevOps engineer, there are uh, separate DevOps engineering teams in organization to make sure that this gets to the user on render front end or network. Yeah, so you all do this backend hosting and etc. But in more professional world, we usually don't use such kind of tools to abstract world. We usually go through this pipeline, and that's what pipeline is there, right? So again, coming back to the topic, now we what we do is even if you don't understand what I'm talking about, what tools I'm talking about, just try to imagine it, right? So what Docker does is there is containerization. So you have to containerize your application, right? You cannot just take a pen from the shop and just deliver it to my house like this. You need it to containerize, like right? Even if that doesn't make sense, why your code should be transported the same way in packages. Just think of it like that. It should be done, right? So you containerize your application, right? Now the application containerization is done. Now where should we store it? There should be some place to store it, right? So there is a Docker hub. So for GitHub, for Git and code, there is GitHub, and now for saving your and hosting your Docker images, there is Docker hub. So it's on Docker hub. The hosting platform is done, right? Now what you do is you go to operations, right? So operations, there are cloud service providers. So say suppose you in if you are in into movies and stuff, so you have seen when they say there are server rooms and stuff. Uh, so there's a question. So I think many of you might have. So after deployment, we use Docker. Docker is used to get your deployment. So if you go here, so deployment is a process, and Docker helps you to deploy, right? So that's what I'm trying to say here. So if you are seen and into the movie, so there when you go like we are into the server room or etc., and you see these big blocks like computers, and there are LEDs going on and something like that. So they are servers, right? And if you are into a company and they have their own servers, so you manage those servers there. So you use that containers which you have built the application to run on those specific servers so that other users can use it. You might know how basic internet works. You communicate with different computers in order to see what's on that computer, the website, etc., on that computer, right? So that's hosted on the server. So whatever Netlify is there, Vercel is there, they have their own servers. So what when you write an application and deploy it on Vercel, what it does is it runs your application on Vercel servers and stuff, right? So that's why some services like hosting, not hosting, the service which is not into picture right now, which was very famous, uh, Heroku, right? So it is not currently doing that because it had lot of cost issues due to that. It used to give free server and like memory and stuff, but it was running out of features because a real computer is being used in backend. So right, so this is a great example, Vercel and Netlify, right? So now if you are into industry and dealing with lot of stuff, you won't be using Vercel and this, so you have to do it manually. So either you will have like bare metal servers on your own, like having this all those computers, LEDs, and whole entire hall dedicated, entire floors dedicated for servers, or there will be cloud service providers. So AWS, CO, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, everything like that. They are cloud providers. So what does that say? They will have the servers, and you will use their servers and computing power to deploy your application. Understand? So you have your application and you know in what ways now we can deploy it. Either you have your own server or deploy it on a cloud provider. Cool. There are cloud providers. You can just go ahead, click, and get started. Right now, you have your cloud provider, your application is running. So this is the step of deployment, right? Your application is deployed on a server right now. So let's get back. We have a lot more into the life cycle, but let's go ahead a bit. So go back a bit, right? So you have an application built on maybe say suppose any tech stack or something like that. You have built it, you pushed it to GitHub, right? You pushed it to GitHub, the code is there, the product is there, the project is there. You want to deploy it. So what do? You create Docker images containers or any container like container creation application. So we know Docker. There might be another tools which help you containerize your application or images. That works too as well. But Docker is famous and industry is adapted to it. So most people use Docker, right? So now you make a container out of your application, and now you want to deploy that containers. Where do you deploy that containers? Onto servers. Now, when you talk about Docker and stuff, so I'm not going into deep. So that's why just try to visualize how these tools are arranged in a sequential or like a chain manner to make it work, right? So it's like adding a chain and chain and chain to make your application accessible to the users. Perfect. So now we have added another chain of Docker and containerized it. Now we have containers. What do? We put the containers onto servers. So the servers run it and the application is accessible to all users, right? So now we put the containers onto servers. What servers? Either our own server, I have my own server at home, something like that, or my office or my company has their own server. I'll go there and run my applications on server, right? Now your application is on server. Now people are able to use their application. So why are there other steps that are here, right? So that should be it. People are able to use it, but that's not quite the case, right? So if you just go here, there is operation, so that's operate. So after deployment, you go to operate. And what is here? You must have definitely heard about Kubernetes and stuff, but I'm not sure if you have a Terraform and Ansible, etc. So what after deployment, it doesn't stop there, right? So say suppose your server has some memory, RAM, etc. Right? So if you are using a computer, you know, right? If there is if you open just unlimited number of tabs, then at some point your computer will start lagging or start giving you buffers, right? You know that because your computer resources are being used, the resources are being used, whatever you have given. So can't it happen to the servers? Yes, absolutely it can happen, but it won't happen just for the hardware that RAM is running out or something like that. It might happen network. So say suppose your application, how many people might be live on Twitter right now? How many people are live on Twitch itself right now? Right. So current stream is I can see viewers are 49 viewers, right? But there are so many channels across Twitch, so many viewers, so many like people are there, like in millions. There people are watching, right? You can consider TV channel as well. When there are cricket matches, football matches, basketball matches, there are so many people watching, right? And some days there are nobody is watching. So can't there be something like that, that your application is not loading or it is buffering because lot of traffic? If you are aware of that, when you go to your uh, what we can say, your result site of government like website where you view your result, you will face so much delay. The website won't load, the session will expire, and you won't be able to view your result really easily. Why is that happening? Application is running, everyone is able to, yes, the site gets crashed. You see this every day, right? So what is thing? So here you can actually imagine where the chains are coming into picture. Only deploying your application onto internet is not enough. You have to make sure the application is live every time, and to every user it's as efficient as to every other people, right? So what Kubernetes does is, Kubernetes or other orchestration engines do is, they have many features, and I won't go again deep into Kubernetes. But what it does is, it has it makes sure that your application is live every time. So whenever container, now our application is known as container, right? So we have upgraded our application name to container. Cool. So now your containers are there. When a container crashes, Kubernetes makes sure that the another container is running. So in ideal case, your server is there or cloud service provider is there, the containers are running on their application is visible. When there is huge traffic, application crashes, right? So that means your container crash. So who makes sure that container is up again and your application is up again? If you know, right? When the application, even if you are testing, some code goes wrong or something like that, your application crashes and it doesn't get started by its own. No application gets started by its own. So who manages that? So Kubernetes and some kind of orchestration engine comes into picture. They make sure that your application is always live. They restart your containers when there is high traffic. They will multiply, increase your containers so that they people can enjoy watching cricket matches maybe. And if there is no viewer or anything like that, or nobody's like less people are using it, they will scale it down. So it's called that scalability. So that comes into picture. Now you know that you have, where how far have we come? We have built our project, right? And now we are thinking a lot more things than just getting it to like just hosting it to some other platform, right? So now you have website, you now are thinking about how can we make it available 24 by 7. What if something gets wrong? What if something crashes? That is possible. And now once the operation is done, so I see a question. Is there containerization? Is the containerization only needed when there is a server client system? So when you say about server client system, so most probably there is front end back end. So containerization can be done to literally any application. When I say any, I mean any application, right? So even if you have only backend, that means you can containerize it. Just think of it like that. You have application here on your system, and now you want to run it as it is. I won't go deep into what containerization is and how it works, but in simpler sense, you have your application right here, front end, back end, everything is here, right? And now you want people to use your application. So what you do is you containerize it. So you build a container out of it, and now you run your application as it is on the servers. So any application you have, even if it's only front end application which doesn't need backend, still you can containerize it. If you have just backend running on servers, you can still containerize it. Hope I'm able to solve that question. Cool. Now you have Kubernetes and orchestrator running, right? You have project, you have containerized it, you have put it on server. Ideally your work is done, but now you are thinking of the engineering that is going behind it, right? So now you think, what if there is a lot of traffic going on? So you go to Kubernetes, then it orchestrates. Now you can scale up, scale down, and your application is live 24/7, right? But it is not over yet. What if you are programming and coding, you know that there are different environments. So you create development environment, you create test environment, testing environment, you create production environment. Why is that? Because you want your application to you want to test your applications somewhere and then production, right? But while we are talking like that, we are not thinking of how we can manage that. So while in production as well, you can actually make those things due to because of some tools like Terraform. So when we are thinking of DevOps, it's like a big chain, and you can take off. Now I want this. Now say suppose I want production, not only production environment, I want development and testing environment. How can I use that in servers? How can I put that, implement that thing on servers? So there is a tool called Terraform. I know that because I have been working with these tools since a long time now. But you don't know, you go, how can I do that? And you find a tool. Now you have added one more chain, right? What is orchestration? So I'm not going deep into orchestration right now because it's part of Kubernetes and deployment kind of thing. But orchestration is basically, the orchestrate. If you have seen orchestra, you know the orchestrator, right? So when you have multiple packages running on server, not packages, you have multiple containers running on server. Who sees them, who manages them? So the person who not person, the thing that is managing this containers and telling them you act like this, you act like that, that is called as orchestrator, right? So if I have server client application, do I need to containerize both front end and back end separately? Yes. So this again depends. So there is this is more into orchestration and deployment, but I will clear this doubt. So there are two ways: monolith or microservice. So if you containerize front end and back end as one container, then that is monolith. And if you containerize front end differently, back end differently, and put it on server differently, then that are microservices. Cool. So you can do the both ways, right? And when I in that was a good question that actually will lead me to my next point, that is orchestration. When I am saying that orchestration, so say suppose front end is built as a different container, backend is built as a different container. So who manages that? So orchestrator does that. Hey, do this thing, communicate like that, communicate this way. If the traffic to front end is big, then the front end will only scale. If the traffic to backend is big, then only backend will scale. But who manages this scaling and everything? That is orchestrator. So you can think of it as that way. Cool. Now your orchestration scaling up and scaling down is going on. Now the next thing, as we say that we want production, testing, and development environment differently. Another tool, Terraform. Now we are adding another chain to our uh, another key to our chain, right? there is this chain is getting bigger, and that is the beauty of DevOps, right? So there comes Terraform. Now you create infrastructure as code. I'm not going deep into that. If you don't understand it, just forget it. Just think of it as I want different platforms and application types on my server, and I want to run my application in different environments. So I can create that. How different tools are there, right? So that's operation. And next is monitoring. So your application is hosted, people are using it, but you should be able to monitor it, right? So it's on server. You don't know if, say, suppose if your application is down, if your front end is down, you are not able to log in. How do you think of it as what must have gone wrong? If you are not able to log into your application, what will you do? First, you will go to the authentication code. Is the authentication code running? Yes, the authentication code is running. Then the services linked with authentication, are they running? Are the pages getting rendered, or are they getting redirect somewhere? Something like that. That the thing is not working. So how do you see that when it is on server and you have so many containers running, so many services running? So when I say front end and back end, this is a small application. Twitter has so many features. WhatsApp has so many features. Email, your own Gmail app has so many features, right? Spotify has so many features. Twitch has so many features. Not everything is just built as front end and back end, right? There are multiple services going in background to make a single application run. So there is not just front end and back end. You agree with me? I hope so. So there are multiple services like that, and one service failure can make other services failure as well, right? So say suppose your backend goes down, then most probably your front end won't work, your login won't happen, your feed won't get rendered, something like that, right? You understand what I'm saying? So how do you monitor that? Then you come into monitor. What? How do you monitor? Then there are different tools for monitoring. The famous one is Prometheus, right? Again, don't go deep into it. Just understand. With each stage, I want to do something. There is a tool for that. I want to do this a specific thing. I want to monitor my applications. There is Prometheus. I want to build different environments in my deployment and cycle. I have Terraform. I want to orchestrate. I have Kubernetes. I want to containerize. I have Docker. You understand, right? So each step I go, I want to do this. I have a tool, right? So that's how it goes. And when you are learning DevOps, this is how DevOps goes. So that's why I say it's a set of practices. What practices you perform in order to get your application to the running. In now in monitoring, you have Prometheus. I use Prometheus, and now I am able to monitor it. Great. And this is how it goes. And then it releases the CI/CD. You can do CI/CD. So you have it hosted on GitHub, and now you want to create a container and you want it to be continuous, right? So whenever you push your code to GitHub, you want a container out of it. You don't want to do it manually, and it would be so hectic when there is so many people, so many contributors doing that, right? So what you do, you set up a GitHub action. What is a GitHub action? It is a type of CI/CD pipeline, right? It is a workflow. So what you do is you automate the things. So as a DevOps engineer, you will automate a lot of things, and this is like a big, like one of the essential part of being a DevOps engineer is that you will automate a lot of things and make it very essential and effective, right? So you are not just taking your application and hosting it on a server or something like that and just making like feeling that it will run, or if something goes bad, I don't know what is doing. You are making sure that you know why it's going bad, why it's failing. You are keeping records on what's going on, you are checking logs, and you're automating everything so that once you push the code, the Docker image will be created automatically. It will be pushed to Docker Hub automatically. It will be pulled on server automatically. And now server is rendering that project, like showing that to people automatically. And it's showing to people automatically. So now Kubernetes is orchestrating it automatically, and that's how automation goes on. So at every stage as a DevOps engineer, you will be automating a lot of stuff, and that's a crucial part of your job. Works? Okay. So are there any questions right now in this segment? If you have any questions, do let me know. I will check here. Yeah, I answered this question that what happens after You push it on GitHub. Now you can set up GitHub Actions. You can containerize it. You can host it or deploy it on servers, something like that. Uh, yep. Again, questions. Uh, yeah, you can get the slides if you are on this MLS Discord. I hope you are on MLS Discord. If you are there, please ping me. I will be happy to share these slides with you. No worries with that. Do we have any practical session over it? Unfortunately, due to time crunch and the uh, technical difficulties from my end, we don't have it planned right now. This is supposed to be an introductory session, so I am giving introduction. Maybe in future sessions, I will give a demonstration on, or there are already previous global hack week videos on YouTube. You can check that out. So there have been containerization. You Ashwin, who is my good friend, who has nicely like taught about Docker and Kubernetes and how you deploy. So there are already practicals on there. So not this session. This is introductory session. So uh, yeah, and this is just a small bunch like 0.0001% kind of tools. So that's why when we go into CNCF landscape next, we will see how many tools are there, and still it's a small part. Uh, yeah, okay, I will share because there is not much on the slides. Actually, there are just headings and images. So, but okay, I will do that. Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, there is a lot to learn, and it gets interesting actually because you are thinking continuously, right? You don't want your application to go down. Your backend is not talking with your front end when it is on server. So how do you do that? Networking and operating system. So when I'm talking about it, so prerequisites when we talk. So there are some prerequisites like you should be good with operating systems. Not when I say good, you shouldn't be like, I'm not telling you to be master, but you should know what is operating system like Linux. You should be able to work around command line tool because on servers there is not much GUI stuff going on. Mostly you work with terminals and command line tools, right? So you should be familiar with command line tools and how file system works, Linux file system works, then how the basic commands work, kind of stuff, right? Then containers, you should know. Obviously you will be containerizing your applications. You should be knowing a bit of networking, how to secure your system, right? So uh, you have firewalls and stuff, right? So you have server, you have an actual running computer where your application is running, right? There might be security issue, right? As an engineer, now you have, again, you have deployed application, you have operating application, but where is the security for the application? So here security comes into picture, right? So you will add security to your servers, your application, in order to prevent any attackers or like any misfunctions to happen with your applications, right? You don't want one to get to hack into your computer, right? So uh, can AI take major part on DevOps in future? I'm not sure. This is a great question actually. This is a good tech, and this can not. I'm not. I cannot say major part maybe, but it can be really helpful in automation and stuff, and suggestions kind of thing. This is a really good question actually. But the thing is. Uh, with I won't go into AI and stuff, but I will try to explain how these things differ. Say suppose the infrastructure and needs for Gmail will be different than the things we need to deploy WhatsApp or Twitter or LinkedIn, right? So as a, as getting AI into that, what mostly AI will be doing is like pattern matching and stuff, all those AI stuff, right? So but uh, as a person, I want my deployment to be in a certain manner, right? As an engineer, I will engineer it into certain manner, right? So getting AI into major part of picture reduces my transparency with the servers and how application is running. I won't be able to get a good and brief insight on what everything and how everything is working technically. So, uh, what parts of DevOps had automation? It's all automation. So, when you are talking about DevOps, the major part, role of like major role you have in DevOps is automation. So when I was saying that your code is on GitHub, you want to deploy it, you won't be doing that. Now I will pull the code again. Now I will build the image. Now I will take the same image, put it on servers, run it. Now I will orchestrate. You won't do this manually. So you have to automate each and every step. So DevOps is like you take a chain, part of chain, you put it into chain. Now you have it in your pipeline, but you don't want to do it manually every time. So once a tool is added, you automate it. So that's what continuous integration and continuous delivery works. So CI/CD. So every part of DevOps and every chain has automation going on. So you will be working a lot with automation. Yeah, shell scripting. You will be working a lot with that. Right. So that's how it goes, and that is the major part of DevOps. And yeah, I was talking about security and stuff. So you should be able to secure your systems and everything, set up firewalls, how ports work, how uh, different networking architectures are there. You should be able to know because when you work with this DevOps stuff, it's on servers, right? So obviously you will be working a lot with networks, ports, and all those kind of things. So you should be super flexible about this networking things. So that were the major parts about DevOps lifecycle and how things go around this. Let's see a CNCF landscape super quick. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was on mute. I'm so sorry. So yeah, going back to the question. So how do I automate these things? So this is super simple. Actually, the tools which you use give you a ability to automate all these things. So you want to containerize your application. So you can go to GitHub. You can set up a workflow, GitHub action, something like that, which automatically containerizes your application and hosts, makes a container and pushes the image to Docker Hub. Then on Kubernetes, cloud providers are there. There are servers and stuff. So there is automatic, like auto rolling and auto scaling stuff is going on Kubernetes, so that is automatic as well. And you can actually set up on every platform which you go, there will be some sort of automation provided to it. So you don't have to configure automation every time, but you can configure automation if you want it to run in certain way. Yeah, I'm so sorry for the audio. Uh, am I audible and visible right now clearly? I hope that answer was audible as well. Uh, yeah, CNCF landscape. I just shared the link right now. I didn't share about CNCF landscape in brief. I'm just getting started with CNCF landscape, so that's why I'm asking if there are any questions or if I was mute or anything like that. Really sorry for today, but do ask me so we can get started with CNCF landscape. Are there any questions? Feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. Cool. So let's get with CNCF landscape now. what is CNCF landscape is you can think of it as library of tools. Think of it as that way. It's a library of tools. So whenever I say I want to monitor my applications, I want to secure my applications, right? And every time I give you example of some tools and applications like that, right? So but where do you find that? So you can consider it as a kind of library for that. So say suppose database, so you have specific databases here, so you can actually go here inside and click on, say suppose MySQL is there, Cockroach is there, Cassandra database. See, now there is all the information about Cassandra database here, website and stuff, and how it's built, everything like that. Databases are there. Streaming and messaging, now you want streaming and messaging to be there. Maybe say suppose click on this deep stream, check out what it is. If you are familiar with tools, then say suppose CI/CD, we talk about automations and stuff, we want CI/CD to be there. So Argo is a really cool tool. You should definitely look into it. So see, run workflow, manage clusters, and do GitOps. So automation and stuff, you can do it with Orgo. And Flux is there, then Captain is there, many more tools. So this is kind of a library you can check, and I will show tell you the popular ones. So Argo is obviously the one of the popular ones. Flux is there, Captain is there, and you can see the bigger ones. So they are CNCF graduates incubating. You don't need to learn all these things, but yeah, you can definitely think of it in a different way, maybe. So application definition and image build, right? So I told you there is like a Docker image building, but there are a lot more. So build pack is there, which helps in CLA for building apps using cloud native build packs. There is this one which helps you application definition and image building. Where is mesh reuse? So mesh reuse is, I think, used in the service mesh kind of stuff, but I won't go deep into that because it's a different topic and it would take many streams to make you understand. But it's a service mesh, so that's what. So in simpler terms, when I say services, that means containers. For example, I will explain it now so you get to understand when we go to service mesh in CNCF landscape. So service means the containers running. Think of it same way. So you have front end service, back end service. But what if there are multiple services? As I said, Twitch has so many services running on, right? It is not like front end and back end. There are so many services, and each services is connected to another services in some or the other way, right? So there is like a kind of graph. You see a big graph that this services is connected to that and all this stuff. And this is kind of a mesh. So when you are a DevOps engineer and you are working with so many services and kind of things, so it becomes a huge kind of mesh there. And to manage this mesh, there are some tools which help you manage this service mesh and service discovery kind of thing. They're again technical terms, but not to worry a lot about it. This simple stuff. So we will see about that, and Mishri is used there. Good question. You might have heard a lot about Mishri here. So what's the end product of CNCF? So CNCF is not a, it does not have an end product. It is like a, maybe you can say uh, a gathering or a platform or a stage for all the tools, not all, or the majority of tools and services that help you in cloud native engineering, which is DevOps, right? So the tools which are there, it's like a stage. So all the tools, platforms, and all the integration on all these applications which you see, which help in cloud native world, the CNCF is like as a platform. So that's what you can see as an end product of CNCF. Uh, yeah, hi. I guess many people are joining now. Please make sure you have checked in for the event to get your points. This is the, yeah, you got the idea. I'm super happy about that. So let's go ahead into the CNCF landscape a bit more. So platforms, as I say, there is like cloud providers and stuff. So here is AWS. Someone was asking about Amazon. So this is a service from Amazon, which is like web hosting, and there's a lot more to AWS. And I think AWS was one of the first players into cloud native system and DevOps. So when you wanted to host your application on third party, so at that time, I guess one of the bigger names was AWS at start, and then Google and other cloud providers got into picture. So this is AWS here. Then again, another say Azure is there. See, Microsoft Azure is there. GCP should be somewhere here. I'm not able to see GCP here somewhere. Mirantis is here. That is good. Uh, you can actually go and look into what all this platform 9 managed Kubernetes. Most are oriented towards Kubernetes because uh, it's so there any streams for low level development. Can you please elaborate this question a bit more so I can answer it in a good manner? So we find tools from here and also contribute to it if they are open source. Most of the tools here are open source, and yes, you can find tools here and contribute to it. So actually, this is a good way when you are getting started with DevOps and CNCF ecosystem. Is that you find your forte. Say suppose you like monitoring a lot, you find a tool which helps you in monitoring and then contribute to that project, right? So it's not like only CNCF is there and you have to contribute to only Kubernetes, but there are multiple projects, right? So if you go, if you just go maybe to Giant Swarm, I guess it's open source. There should be a GitHub link here. I think it's not open source. No worries, we will go maybe somewhere. Captain, I guess Captain is open source. Yeah, see, GitHub link is here. Here is the GitHub link. I hope I am able to. Yeah, this is the GitHub link. You can just go here. You can check the website, check the repository. Companies are there. Actually, these are actual companies and organizations working. So you can, if you want, if you are interested in a specific role, something like that, you can actually go here and go to Crunchbase or something like that and check about the company, apply to that company. So you can actually see how many companies are right here and so many opportunities open right here in front of you. And you can see what languages they use and something like that. Twitter is there and what all criteria they're working, where they are based, their funding status, and everything like that. You can find here about the company and thing, and you can actually end up contributing to it. So whatever names I'm taking, maybe you can go there. At least start the GitHub repo. They are really good tools, really good engineers work around here. So uh, uh, any stream videos uh, like today's, but for low level development. Do you mean low level development by low code or no code services and tools? Please clear me on that. That could be a good question. Yep. So Rancher is there. This is good. It is by, I guess, Susa took it. Yes, Susa took it. So it is also on GitHub. Again, great tool. Now, see, so many tools are there. Now, this was for platform. Again, Civo. If you know Kunal, Kunal works at Civo and it's a hosting platform or cloud provider. CO is a cloud provider, right? And you can actually go here. It is not open source, but you can actually go here and see all about it. Certified, yes, hosted ones. Then installers, there are multiple installers right here. Cool. Now, if we go to serverless, there are tools which help you go serverless as well. So let's try to zoom in here. So let's see what all tools are here. So yep, see, Ada is here, Dapper is here. So this helps you go build, host your application serverless. See, so many tools to support each and every idea and ideology. So you just go here, yeah, you can just scan this to get this uh, landscape on your phone or something like that. Let's go ahead, bit observability. See, we talked about Prometheus, which is great tool for monitoring and stuff. Uh, yeah, like, okay, are there any videos or streams for development? So when you talk about OS, Linux, emulators, memory, etc. So when like this is good because when you're working with servers, this is all the low level knowledge what you have is really essential. And all these tools actually I think work directly with like low level management. So Prometheus helps you track down your, like, say suppose memory. So you have 8 GB given and you want if 7 GB gets used by the server, you should be notified. So Prometheus helps you keep monitoring your memory, your like power consumption, etc., like that, and helps you overcome if it is going to go down. Yeah. Uh, I hope that was answer. If it was not, then rewrite that. I will try to find an answer for you somewhere around. So this is Prometheus. Again, this is open source. You can go ahead. And if you are not yet joined to CNCF Slack, then you should definitely join. There are really great people in that community, and kind of DevOps community. If you are searching, CNCF is a really good place, and I think one of the biggest place to find a good network as well. Then Thanos, again, uh, the highly available Prometheus setup for long-term storage capabilities and CNCF incubating project. See, Prometheus has data. It helps you monitor the data and stuff for your server. What if you have to store the setup for long time? Thanos is there. You can actually see it here and try to come up with where this tool is being used and try to come up with that change that you can put it onto your pipeline, right? So Thanos is used there. You can commit and use that. Okay, here it's okay. Logging, when you run your application, you have logs, right? You do logging and stuff. So how what tools do you use when you want to log stuff on that is on server and which is running inside the containers? How do you get that logs? So you use this tools to get logs. Flaunt, good one. Okay, it was zoomed out. Sorry for that. Flaunt, good one. You can use it for unified logging layer and see where it's built in Ruby. If you want to contribute, you can actually go here. See, here is a small drop down kind of thing you can use. Project, you can see graduated or anything like that. License organization. Here you can find with specific organization, company type, industry type, and you can actually download it as CSV if you want. Tracing, if there is problem kind of thing, you want it to get traced back, right? You want to trace the problems and stuff and prevent them maybe, right? So you can actually go here, open telemetry. uh, Great tool, open source. I have personally contributed to it, so great one. You can go ahead and see how it started and stuff. Chaos engineering, again, continuous optimization, again, tools for optimizations. uh, uh, let's have a question. If non-tech person needs to enter into DevOps, what will be your suggestions from where one should start? Yeah, I have already answered it, but again, you should have basic knowledge like operating systems, working with Linux, working with terminal, basic commands of terminal, how networking works, architecture of different networking models kind of thing, because you will be working a lot with firewalls and ports and all those networking jargons. So you should be pretty comfortable with operating systems, networking, and at least Linux. You should have a basic and a moderate level knowledge of Linux, because most of the servers run on Linux. So can we use these tools as beginner for learning more about it? Yeah, absolutely. These tools have good documentation. They do have community support. So most of the projects have their CNCF. If you go into CNCF, they will have their own page. So you can go there and tell that, hey, I'm a beginner. I would like to learn about this product or project. And there people will help you out. There are like videos. I myself make videos on my YouTube channel. If you want, you can check that out as well. So you can go there and see. I try to teach about these tools, different tools, try to come up with videos. So you can go ahead and check out my channel as well. There are many good people, and take with Nana, and free code camp has good videos as well, so you can actually go and check them out and learn about these tools. And they are beginner friendly. So once you know this chain now, how you want to run your application, then it becomes really easy for you to learn all this tech. So why DevOps earn so much? So I won't say like so much, but it is similar to software engineering roles, right? So if you say DevOps engineer earn more than this and that, then that would be really wrong to assume, actually. But like it depends on organization to organization, or there. But I think software engineers and DevOps on like equally good and balanced according to their roles. So both are equally important. So they both have like a good pay scale. Actually, I can say they have good pay scale, uh, but not more or less than. So I'm not sure if you are asking me or someone else, but if you are asking me, then no, I'm not final year student. I'm a second year engineering student. So if we are here right now, then let's go ahead and maybe take a look more into, yeah, training partners. You can actually go, there are many training tools and development uh, have here. So if you go here, what is this? This is Kubernetes certified service providers. So they are, this has been certified by CNCF about their services. You can go ahead and what every teleport is there, what teleport does, open source Empire packages on your kits cluster. If you when you go deep into Kubernetes and stuff, you will understand what all this means. But and there are really good things around CNCF and see how many tools are there. You can go to card modes. See, just go, just see how many are there. See, you are viewing 1,195 cards with total of how many is there? Please count chat. 1,035 lakh, uh, 36,813 stars. Market cap is like in trillions and funding is like in billion. You can see where where the potential and CNCF ecosystem is and how it is growing. You can see actually here. See, and so let me check if there is a question. Okay. Uh, does every tech company has DevOps? See, depends. So say suppose you have startup of 2 to 3 people who are developing and deploying the application, there won't be lot of traffic, right? So it doesn't make sense to hire a DevOps engineer to manage a thing that can be managed by other people, and because there is not much traffic coming in right now, etc. But bigger companies which have a good amount of users coming in and the application is running used by many people, then you absolutely need a DevOps engineer or other roles that come under DevOps itself. So DevOps is not like you got a DevOps role and it's done. There are many deep roles inside DevOps as well that people do through certifications and stuff. So yeah, but not every tech company has it. It depends on company to company and how much user base is there, how and how they plan according to it. But yeah, most of the companies do have a DevOps role, so nothing to worry about it. Um, yeah, there are so many tools, and actually you cannot. I don't think you can learn all of them. Uh, okay, my YouTube channel. Okay, I can definitely do that. So youtube.com/@ Kaiwalya underscore Koparkar. I guess this is the channel. Yep. Uh, yeah, this is the channel if you want. Uh, yeah, again, this that is one of the resources. And okay, so DevOps in charge to make sure every tools are implemented well along the production line in tech company. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can think of it that way. So DevOps is a set of practices you follow to make sure your application is there for the people who want to use that application, and all tools are implemented good. You make sure your application is running and going through each and every tool. If anything goes down, as a DevOps engineer, you will be tasked to, may say, suppose admin a certain thing, admin a certain tool. So you will be responsible for a certain tool. So you have to make sure the tool you are foreseeing is going smoothly. So most of the so what happens is most of the DevOps engineers. So say suppose you are working closely on say suppose containerization of the application. So most probably you will be in the Docker community and stuff to see, and you will be attending their meetings and stuff to make sure and listen to and see the plans where the Docker is going to go and will it affect your current production line or something like that. So when you say your production is down in application, that most probably means one of your tools somewhere has failed or marked something and it is not able to go into the production, right? So that's the production pipeline. So when someone says production went down, so at background they are finding what tool and where it went wrong and try to fix it out. Cool. uh yeah, yeah. There is a tool called Jaeger as well. There are tools called Jaeger. uh okay, this is the anime reference. I won't go into there, but okay. Yeah, you can get started with development. If you're first year student, you can get started with development because getting into DevOps, as it says, development and operations. So you should be knowing what development is, and so you can get started with development. Maybe start HTML, CSS, and get started with it. If you want Android, then go with Android as well. Nothing to worry about that. But yeah, you can start with development, and once you are sure you are able to build applications and stuff, then you can go move into DevOps and all this kind of thing. Uh, I see Attack on Titan references being given here. Uh, okay, can you tell some of the jobs which role? Can you tell some of the job roles which come under DevOps to which I can prepare for as a beginner? Good question. So there are like system admins are there, network admins are there, and all the stuff. Like there are different site reliability engineers are there, uh, and like there are roles for each of the operations you are doing. So set of practices. When I say set of practices, that means is if you have different role title, that means your role is doing slightly something different than other roles which are into your deployment life cycle and which are participating in deployment life cycle, right? So as a DevOps engineer, there will be all the admins and all the users. Maybe some only maintenance staff would be also there. There might be some cases like that. uh, so does every type of software company require different DevOps tools? Therefore, DevOps need to plan or for that before the project started, right? So there are like two questions, and the answer is kind of different. So yeah, every type of software company requires different tools. There might be same tools two companies are using exactly, but right. So it depends on you, right? So if you are building project, so it's on you if you want to use Vercel or if you want to use Netlify, if you want to use Heroku, that's on you, right? There are different tools, they are doing exactly the same thing, but it's on you what you want to use according to your uh, money you have, maybe like the resources, the fundings you have, maybe on your company, the resources you can use, the manpower you can utilize. So that depends. So the tools which are chosen by the company, yeah, they are different. And see, there are so many tools, so there is no crunch of tools going around in DevOps industry, and therefore DevOps need to plan for that before the project started, right? So there is not something like your project is built and it is into production and it stays. So you cannot think there is not one version, right? So there is not one version of your application running. WhatsApp has its own updates coming. Twitter has updates coming recently, many updates coming. LinkedIn has updates coming. Your Google Drive has updates coming. Every application has updates coming, right? So if you want, before any release cycle, you want to change the tools, you can change the tools. So it's not like you have selected the tools, so you have to stick with the tools. No, you can change the tools, but you have to make sure your production doesn't go down, and that is what engineering is all about, right? So you can change the tools whenever you want. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Depends on companies and their plans, how they want to go ahead with that. So automations and configurations, again, good stuff. QH uh, is you have for company under CNCF. it is under automation. So this project is also open source. Okay, this is like like let's see if we can get this a star and break this all 5 by 5. Maybe someone can go there and make a star. Maybe it's super cool. Uh, Yeah, absolutely. You can become a village coach in your first year. But yeah, you should have experience with hackathons and stuff. You should have presence in communities and contributing to communities. And yeah, definitely. Uh, and all the best if you are applying, and good luck for that. So this is Cubase. This is another one, which is, I guess, yeah, incubating project. Custodian, cloud custodian is there. Uh, Chef is here. See, Chef Infra. So we know we name, yeah, Terraform is there, which I was talking about, Terraform provisioning and stuff. So it comes under automation and configurations. So you can definitely check that out as well. Ulumi, great tool. I'm just telling you out tools so you know what the tools that are like I'm learning maybe and are good ones to get started, maybe like that. But I'm telling how many tools are there under single category. See, the providers are done, storages. See, so many storage providers are there. Some may be providing some benefits that my company wants, so then I can use that specific tool. Container runtimes. So one of the container runtimes we know as, which is Docker. We know that there is Docker container runtime, but there might be different, right? So see here, there are different container runtimes. This is containerd, I guess, which is currently being used inside Kubernetes. I may be wrong, but according to my knowledge, containerd is being used inside Kubernetes to run the containers, right? We build containers to run inside Kubernetes and cloud providers. The container runtime is needed. Cryo, uh, Cryo is there, great tool again, which you can use for container runtime. Then cloud native network, so networking is there and all those things going around here. So I guess this is some manner. I guess here should be somewhere. Uh, we will find out Meshri and we'll check that out. Cilium is here. Great again. Great tool, open source. Give it a star if you want. Go to GitHub and give these projects definitely a star. They are doing really great work into the community. So tell you about security. Again, when we talk about security, you want to secure your system, secure your deployment, your server and stuff. So where do you go? You go to projects like here. So Open Policy Agent is here. I already have maybe a video on my channel on policy management tool. Kaiwalya is here. Great policy management tool. Uh, this is great. Falco is here. So this all help you in security and best practices for your server or your deployment while you are deploying. So these are used for that purpose. Armo is here. Uh, Again, great tool. Aqua is here. Again, great tool. Question. So, what job site would you suggest if I am searching for the DevOps internship? So, if you are searching for DevOps internship, then CNCF has their own job boards as well. And you can imagine if CNCF has so many projects related to DevOps and cloud native ecosystem, so their job board should be really good, right? So they have their own job boards. LinkedIn is there. You can check LinkedIn as well, and maybe follow people who are into DevOps ecosystem already, like myself. Rohit Ghumre is there, and so many people. Kunal Kushwaha is there, so you can get to know about opportunity to from these. And there are some Twitter profiles as well which share DevOps roles and stuff. So yeah, you can check that out. Networking is the tool. Uh, yeah, we are seeing we are on this link right now. I've shared it before as well. Yeah. Uh, okay, you want the GitHub link there, but I'm not sure which link you're talking about. But if you go on every project, there is a GitHub link specifically there here. So if the GitHub link is there, that means it's open source. So you can check that out as well. you will have to, because there are so many tools and links, so I don't think it's a good idea to share it here, the links. So let's see if we can find some yeah, container registry. We have seen what container registry, we build containers and like put the container images on Docker Hub, right? So but there is not only Docker Hub, there is Harbor, which helps in storing your images and stuff. There is Dragonfly. See, really cool names for the projects. This is there. Kraken is there. Good ones. So again, let's see. So what I'm trying to tell is this all, see, security is there, key management is there. So these are all the like for your chain to complete, all these elements are needed, and all these elements have so many tools you can use to complete. So you want security, you can choose from that. You want key management, so you know, right? So development has so different keys and values. So if you are implementing authentication, you have keys, values for referencing and for authentication, right? So there are keys for databases, there are keys. So for key management, there are, see, there is Spiffy, I guess. Key management tools are there, cool key management tools, and so many around here. See, Teleport is here for key management as well. So you can check that out, and yeah, that would be definitely worth it to use it and create your own DevOps chain, maybe. So, any questions? I should. Uh, yeah, I'm happy you feel that way. 33 people are here with me, despite of all the difficulties during the start of the session. But I hope I was able to make it worthwhile for you all. And yeah, 1.5 hour passed and we didn't realize. And yeah, this is coming to an end right now because this is like a last, coming to the last part. So if you have questions, do ask here, so I can answer them when I have time to my hand. So many of these companies use Golang. Yes, Golang is preferred language in most of the companies, but it's not like mandatory. There are any language you are learning, C, C++, Java, JavaScript, Python, any they use. There is some company use it. Yes, C++ is being used. Java is being used. Python is being used. No, Go is not at all used in Envoy. So there are companies which are, see here now, Go is used 98%. I hope, see, okay, I just realized you are not able to see. Go is used 98%, Shell, Python less than 1%. Okay, Istio is good. Then okay, here we come to Linkerd as well. Okay, I will just go here. Service mesh. We talked about service mesh and stuff. So here is the Meshri. So whoever asked about Meshri above, this is that comes under service meshes. So Meshri is a cloud native manager for like services and stuff. See here, Uh, Go is used 53%, and if you are into JavaScript, and then you can actually go ahead and contribute to it as well. See, 53 and 44%. So you can actually go here and see whatever language you are learning or want to work in. You have it. Linkerd is here. Great tool again. Service proxy, API gateways, every part of your development and etc. Okay, Netflix has its open source as well. See, if you want to contribute to Netflix, then go ahead and then you can brag to your friends that the Netflix you are using and not sharing your password with me, I have contributed to Netflix actually. So you can go and brag about it. That's a weird way to put it, but yeah, it's built. It's in Java. So if you are someone who likes Java and contributing to Java, can contribute to Netflix. So yeah, Netflix is there. Nginx is there for service proxies, etc. Then you can actually go ahead and understand. See, scheduling and orchestration, as I talked here, is Kubernetes again, which is a really good project. Then Crossplane, again, you can actually choose and play between. In this, what is this one? Cured is a demo set for safe automatic node reboots. See, node reboots and etc. So you can actually use these projects as well. So uh, uh, yeah, it didn't feel so long. Mustache, is uh is not language, I guess. It's a JavaScript framework. Let me just quickly check. I guess I have used Mustache. Uh, yeah, it's kind of templating engine when you are working with it's templating engine for JavaScript, but it's not related to DevOps in a sense. But yeah, glad you asked. Thanks for asking. Yeah, and that that is it. That is all for this session. Thank you so much for joining. And let's see if we have any topics pending to cover maybe. So we are coming here. So CNCF landscape, we already saw CNCF landscape, and yeah, uh, thank you so much for joining and watching. If you have any questions, let's take up quick questions from the chat so we can wrap up this session super quick. Uh, so basically, pick up a chain based on your skill set, not skill set, but your want maybe, right? So skill set, you can actually go ahead if you know about what is security, then you can actually go ahead and use any tool you want in security which meets your needs, right? So not according yeah, in a sense according to your skill set. So if you know good about security, so you know what the tool is providing, what the other tool is not providing, so whatever you want, you can go ahead and choose that. So good one, Siddharth. So that was the entire idea of DevOps, and that is how DevOps goes. So if you feel DevOps super intimidating, I hope I was able to clear it out for you. It's like a chain, and you build your projects and try to deploy it in a sense that it doesn't go down and is ready for each and every scenario. Uh, yeah, I want to learn everything, but that is kind of not possible, I guess, because you have seen there are like 1,000 plus, 1,000 and 1,500 plus projects, right? And this is not the entire list actually. There are many projects which are not listed here. CNCF is a part of Linux Foundation. There is Soda Foundation as well, which has their own umbrella of products and tools. So there are a lot of tools, and actually you cannot learn everything. But yeah, that's good. But you can actually learn each and every process. There's about security, monitoring, and stuff. So you can use any tool you want in future. That 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 could be super cool. Yep. Thank you so much for joining and sticking around. Even if there were technical glitches and stuff, I'm really sorry about that again. But I hope you really liked this session, and I hope you will be able to get into DevOps more freely, and it doesn't bother you after this session. And if you have any questions, do reach out to me on MLS Discord, my own Discord server, maybe, and you can reach out to me on Twitter anytime you want. I make sure I reply to the uh, questions and stuff. So I would be really happy to help you out if you have any questions around that. So yeah, thank you so much for is there only way to get the session recording of today? Yeah, this session is entirely recorded. So if you go to MLH YouTube channel, this session will be entirely there for you. Just I would recommend skipping the first like 10 minutes. It was pure technical glitch, but yeah, recording is absolutely there. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great global hack week. Thank you so much.